Have you ever gotten just this wave of panic over you and feeling like you're just not safe? That means you may have a panic disorder where our body actually shifts into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Stay tuned to learn out 3 key steps to get out of a sense of panic and live a present life. Hi, I'm Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions, and I've seen in my practice a huge rise of panic disorder in the last couple of months. And what's going on is this can happen because the limbic system is in overdrive. And what that means is that our parasympathetic system, which is what is telling our body, like, we got to get out of here. We got to survive. Like a lion's about to eat us. We got to go. And sometimes it's the deer in the headlight. We just fawn and we're startled that we don't know what to do. Or we're ready. Let's go. Come on. Get me at him. Get me at him. Get me at him. You know, you've got your cowardly lion, your fawning scarecrow, your 10-man. And they are all coming out of you in moments of stress. And the brain doesn't know good, bad, or indifferent stress. It knows life or death. And that's why when we start getting into that negative dynamic that I've talked about, go back to those previous videos of universal constructs and the negative dynamic. When we get into that mindset, then we are pulling from all or nothing, life or death. We're not pulling from the nuances. And so this overwhelming sense of panic that comes over us, even the most trained person can feel like they are helpless against all the breathings. I box breath, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. It's not working, you know. 7, 8, 4. I did it. It didn't work. I did my 5 senses. It did not work. And that's because trauma creates a disconnect and a fear between the mind and body. And so I've shared with you, and you can go to past videos to look at the building body trust. This is all a part of trauma treatment. But the thing is that our brains are becoming more and more bad brain, reactionary. It's getting stuck in this negative dynamic and it doesn't know how to get out. And all it can think is I am not safe. I am not well. And it can't get past those blockages. And so we're going to look at 3 key steps in order to better understand and how to live a more present focused life and start warding away against this sense of panic. And that is, we're going to start with purpose. And purpose says that we know where we're going to be. There's predictability, lots of P's, right? Purpose, predictability, presence. And so what we're trying to do is really inhabit the here and now. Because when the limbic system is percolating and it's already overstimulated, it is not in the here and now. It is going back to everything in your past. Remember that amygdala. It's going to all the places in your past, and what it's doing is when we talk about healing the inner child, panic disorder is a good place to start with healing the inner child, because usually what's happening is your amygdala, your inner child, is sitting in one of those rooms. So go back to bad brain, blame it on the brain, video. I'll have these in the video description links so you can get those links very quickly. But you're sitting in one of your past rooms, and that could be a room of betrayal, that could be a room of performance and being overwhelmed, that can be a room of of just not feeling safe, feeling like everything is happening around you and you have no control. The dementors are swirling around you. And so that is why logically we get into cognitive dissonance. Logically, I know if I do these breathings, but emotionally I can't feel it. I cannot feel safe. It's because you're stuck in your amygdala. You're stuck in a room. You got to get out of it. And that's really that's like therapy. Coaching does a lot. Therapy will go and take your inner child by the hand and pull you out of there, get you in a safe place. Purpose allows you to find and create a sense of here and now, of predictability and meaning in the here and now. So the more that you're setting intentions, the more that you're saying, this is how I want to interact with my day to day, the more that you're giving yourself purpose, the less likelihood. But if performance trauma is your gig, and that's what's getting you here, know that you've got to start smaller. It can't be this wide-bigging thing that says, I've got to do the best that I can. I have to be perfect, right? Performance can be, as we know, performance can be a trigger. And instead, I want you to look at the here and now. Like, I just want to be more grounded today. I just want to be more present. I just want to look at being able to have meaningful connections. So we're keeping it small, and yet break, but we're keeping it small and success oriented. What are little things that we can do that can ground us back to our purpose each time? And we're setting alarms and we're just coming back to finding these grounding moments. Okay? The next one of 3 key steps to present focused living and getting out of this amygdala is breathing, is mind-body connections. So what we want to do is we want to stay in the here and now, being purpose-driven and present, and we want to breathe. And we can box breathe, so 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold, 4 in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold, in, 4 hold, 4 out, 4 hold. And you see how much rhythm that is? It felt really good to do that. I kind of did it a long time. It felt good to have that rhythm. And do you see how I move a lot? I'm not moving because I'm nervous. I'm moving because it's important for you to remember that mind-body connection is everything. And the more that you are moving, the more that you are going to ground and stay connected to the here and now, the more that you are giving yourself implicit messaging that I am okay and I have agency. I'm okay, I have agency. Because if you go back to those universal constructs, when you're in a state of panic, that feeling of safety, agency, value, belonging, being seen and heard are all up for grabs on being exposed and not feeling like you are connected to it. So it's important to be clear, to have that mind-body connection, to breathe, to have that sense of purpose. And coming back to the here and now. So number 3 on staying in a present living life, having these key steps, getting out of this panic state where your amygdala is taking over, your limbic system saying, I gotta get out of here. I gotta fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. The third thing is going to be predictability. So we want to have patterns in our lives. We want to have atomic habits. We want to start setting those atomic habits. And how we do that is we create routines, block scheduling, Pomodoro technique. Man, have I put them out there for you. Time to start using them. find predictability, find frameworks for each thing that you're doing when you know you're about to go into something stressful. The good news is a lot of people are getting jobs right now. I do a lot of career coaching, which means I do a lot on LinkedIn. I do follow and connect with a lot of people, and there's nothing that I get better joy in and is to seeing one of my coaching clients show that they've gotten hired. So I do keep a pretty close look on the hires on LinkedIn, and man, are we getting inundated with hires. So that is the positive. The critical feedback is that there's a lot of people who are looking for jobs, and it is an employer market, and so it's important to be incredibly competitive, and that can make people really, really anxious and feel like they have very little agency, being seen and heard, belonging, value, which leads to not feeling like you're safe and secure, like you won't make rent next month. Purpose, breathing, body work, connection, and predictability. So what we want to do is we want to create these mindful and intentional spaces in our job search, because, and for anything that causes us great stress. If we're about to do a big family thing coming up and we're like, man, I don't know, like I'm already like barely making it. Now like my inner child keeps on like coming in and crashing the party. I don't know if I can handle this. Find purpose. It doesn't matter what you do. It matters that you have predictability and you've created a space for it. So open up and create a space that is your space when it comes to your high stress thing. Whatever that is. And I want you to be very mindful in being in that space. And so we are purposely putting things in that space. We are creating routines around when we interact with that space. We're creating boundaries. So who can interact with that space, how we interact with that space. We covet this space that is so precious to us, that allows us to let go of all of that stress and be very, very present and purpose-driven and predictable in that space. And so for many people, I do travel a lot. I have winter homes, I have summer homes. I just enjoy going to Europe every couple of years. I like going over to the West Coast, and we get in our RV, we go up to the Northeast to go look at the leaves every fall. Like, we like to travel. We like having new surroundings. But no matter where I am, I have a bulletproof routine that I do not mess with. Now, what may change is how I do it, how long I do it, but what I do will not. It is lock, stock, and platinum in my day, and it's imperative that I have it. And that is that I wake up, as soon as the alarm goes off, I drink water. I have water right by my bed. I drink water. And what that's doing is I'm saying, okay, like for reals, like we're getting up. We're not just like turning off an alarm so that all my anxiety can go in and start my shoulda couldas. That is not how I'm starting my day. I'm starting my day by telling my body, do your job, man. I'm gonna drink some water. You're gonna tell me it's time to go pee. That's all it is. It's a beautiful, beautiful way. So even if I'm not like spurring up and saying, let's go start the day, I know my body will start it. And so right then and there is explicit and implicit messaging that I am saying, let's do this. Like, body, I'm leaning on you, you're leaning on me. We are a team. That's body trust. And then as I get up, I do the whole morning thing. I let my body do what it needs to do. I go back and I cleanse my skin and I take care of it, brush my teeth. And then I start my workout, and whatever that means. Sometimes we're traveling and we like to boondock. We don't necessarily go to campgrounds. And so I may not even know where I'm at, what Home Depot or where I'm at in the morning. So I may not go outside. It may be rainy. I do have a walking pad and I may use that. I may have an early appointment where I was meeting somebody's needs, or we're on the West Coast, so it's already 3 a.m. I know I'm gonna get my cardio later, so I don't worry about the details. But what I will lock stock no matter what, if I take 15 minutes to get ready, or if I take 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours I give myself in the morning, it does not matter. I will do my arm rolls, and I'll take, see how calming that is? I take big arm rolls and I breathe in and out with it. I go forward, I go backwards, and I'm loosening up where I get a lot of tension. Every time I talk about tension with my clients, my little shoulders go right up to my ears, right? And I think about all the trainers on iFit and I say, okay, man, shake it out. You see what it does though? The little bit of mindfulness, when you start doing training routines, the little bit of mindfulness, right? It comes in, your core comes in, you sit a little taller, you have like this little string that comes up, you relax your shoulders, and you start to notice what your body is doing. You start to feel grounded in that what we call pelvic area, the pelvic bone. Where a lot of, you know why we have GI is like #1 in functional medicine? That's what they look at first. One, it's the easiest. Two, it's one of the first places that is going to mess up in your system as you are hoarding all of this negative energy, all this stress, right? What do? You clench your butt. You do. I promise you. Just notice it. How many times do we just sit there and clench, and then you wonder why there's so much going on with GI tract issues? And it's also, that's where your pelvis is. And so there's multiple very large muscles in that pelvic region, and we are just tightening them, and we have no idea how to let go of it. Same in my somatic therapy. When I work with clients in somatic therapy, they have no idea how tight their jaws are. And when I give them the stuff, and please reach out if you want to do some somatic therapy, it is miraculous. When we do the exercises to release the spine, release the jaw, release the pelvis, how different they interact with their body and how different their body feels. And so I let go of the tension in my shoulders no matter what. I do these things where it's really hard to do it here, but I go forward and backward. I go side by side. So I'm really spending a lot of time, no matter what, every morning on my shoulders and my hips, because I sit for a good amount of time in my career. I've sat, those little suckers are really tight. So I spend and I give love to my hips and my shoulders, where most of my stress is. What stress is left is there. And just hunching over, and I do a lot of content. I'm writing books, I do a lot in a day. A lot of it is on the computer, and so this gets hunched very, very often. And then no matter what, and again, 5 minutes, 35 minutes, depends. I'm not strict on it because I don't care. It doesn't bother me if I do it for 5 minutes. I'm not going to man, Jen, what are you doing? You're just a fat loser. I can't believe you only did this for 5 minutes. No, because that's not the point. The point was to engage in an activity that loosened me up and prepared me for the day. That was my goal, and I met it. And I have very good grounded sessions as I start my day. And other times I have more time, but I'm not going to be rushed, and I'm not charging myself in various ways because I didn't do it for a certain amount of times. I'm just engaging in a routine. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 15 minutes. It does not matter. You have to choose you. But to do it is important. And I do a sun salutation, which is a simple vinyasa that all of yoga is built on. And it's about You go up like a tree, you bend over, you half up, you go all the way down, you plank it, you come up, or you actually cobra down if you want to cobra, or you upward dog. And then you take upward dog and you go into downward dog. And then technically you can come back to put your feet together, half up, all the way down, and then come back. And as you come back, you set your intention for what you want in that day. That is bare min, the most simple. Oftentimes I will go into some hip stretches, but that's bare min. Like if I don't have a lot of time, I have an appointment at 6 a.m. East Coast and I am on the West Coast, I'm probably going to do pretty quick stuff, right? Because I know that I'm also going to get off at like 11 a.m. West Coast time. And I have my whole day to go on hikes, to be able to really enjoy myself. So I don't give myself a lot of grief because it doesn't serve me. Because what I'm trying to do is connect my mind and body and to nourish it and to say, we've got this. Like, I know you've got me and I've got you. And that's what we're trying to do. And then at the end of the day, after work is done, I have another, like, I do not mess with this. This is mine. I will not mess with it, as I put bookends on my day. So that's kind of my bookend on the front. And then the bookend after work, I get in my car. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, 1,000 degrees outside, 0 degrees outside. I get in my car, I roll down those windows, and I let my workday go, and I bring on my personal day. And I usually will spend, because I have a dog, and I always joke that he's gonna call PETA, because clearly we are just terrible dog owners. He gets 20 minutes of yard time a day, right? No, he doesn't, he gets a lot. But that's my world, right? That is my bookend. So I've worked from home for over a decade. And even before I worked from home, after I worked from all of it, I do this bookend. And what that does is it allows me to say goodbye to my workday and welcome my personal life. And I give myself 20 minutes at minimum to just have time for myself, to let go of what my business is, what admin I need to do, when do I need to post, you know, where am I at on hiring new staff, you know, did I talk to them, do I need to do this? I take all of that and I just let it go. And I have this moment for myself. I do like watching my dog run around while he's smelling everything and just having the best time of his life. He loves that 20-minute time. And again, it is air quote, it's a minimum of 20 minutes, but that could go for hours. That could go for exactly 20 minutes. It's like, all right, kid, we've got a new book coming out. I'm really excited to get some content in it. Like, we're gonna go back and I'm gonna do some content, and then we'll go off and do an hour, and you know, things will change based on what I am doing, but there are hard lock solids that do not change. And the same for at nighttime. At 8 o'clock, 8:30 at the latest, all electronics are cut. And I take the time to just have my devotional and have my stretches. I do more stretches at night so that I can prepare my body again. I can be connected with my body in order to go to sleep. And you can say, well, that must be luxurious, but I am very, very type A. People who know me are like, Jen, you still do a lot, but what you used to do, like, I don't know how you're still alive. Like, it was a lot. I had 3 full-time jobs at one point. 3 full-time jobs. All of this is probably why I was still alive, honestly. I was a maniac. I'm not gonna lie to you. Total maniac. Like, just, I could not sit still. I could not keep a train of thought. So many things were plying for my attention. There's too much going on, so much worry, so much external validation. And I was able to find peace. I was able to find trust in myself. And when I found that peace and trust in myself, when I rose up to a higher power, I was able to let go of 2 full-time jobs and really rely. And actually, I do a quarter of the time spent at work, and I make about 3 times as much money. Why? Because I trust in myself. Stress, gone. It's all about how you are living life, and that the key step program that I have built, saying goodbye to bad brain, is the forerunner to understand how I see it. And then I built a 3-book series, Key Steps to Live a Happier and Healthier Life. I live by those. I share them with you so that you can live this life too. That it doesn't have to be chaos. It doesn't have to be constantly striving. You don't need 1,000 plans. You can actually live in the present, here and now, and find peace and joy and purpose. You do it with finding purpose, as we talked about, finding presence, creating that mind-body connectedness, and finding these routines, these predictabilities, these patterns, in order to kind of keep the momentum going. If you like this and want your own coaching or therapy session, I do highly recommend to book an initial consultation. I'm here to help you to better understand what your brain is doing and what's holding you back, and tell you all the secrets of how to push forward using anxiety, depression, ADHD, OCD. All of it has its own superpowers as much as it has its kryptonite. And I can tell you how to harness and really make the most out of whatever diagnosis you've been given. Or if you're just saying, man, I just don't feel like I have a lot of purpose. I'm just kind of doing a lot of things. I really relate to the 3 full-time jobs and not really feeling like I can sit still and not have these things going through my mind, and I just want peace. I'm here for that too. I've lived it. I have a master's degree in it and 20 years of experience where I've helped others get out of it. I've gotten it out myself. And I'm here to help you. So book an initial consultation and let's work on this journey of transformation together. I'm Jennifer Evans with Empowering Wellness Counseling Solutions.